Hello everyone, this is Jim Okersinski with your Week 12 lecture video. So I don't know if this is going to be much of a lecture. However, I'd like to point out where we're at and where we're going. And hopefully moving forward from Week 12 and Week 13, people will have a general idea of the path for the rest of the semester. So we're currently working in Chapter 4. I've moved some of the components and built out some of the components in the module, so you might want to take a moment and read through. I'll take you through week 12 here. So we're still going to be working in chapter 4 this week, and some of the sections here will be appropriate for pulling the first draft together. Should be working on that for next week. Once again, I have a listing here of lecture videos on building quote sandwiches and following building context around quoted material for the essay, how to format an MLA document so that way your essay meets those criteria, and also how to format the works cited page. I think it's an important component there because it is a part of the grading scheme. So once again, they say I say traditional transitional phrase handout is always good to give you some alternatives as far as transitioning between paragraphs, ideas. It works really well, all right, as a tool and resource. So we have the first essay draft here. I don't know why that's popping up. It should be the final research assignment. So I want to make this clear and clarify. I've gotten a couple of emails wondering what's going on, what are we writing about. So after the annotated bibliography, we return to some of the chapter 4 exercises, which are designed to help you pull together, even begin working on the research essay. So the final research essay draft that is due on December 3rd, I list all the criteria here, the 6 to 8 sources of information. You can use more, but it's 68, and it's really the same topic and the source material from the annotated bibliography. Now, if you found something new, you want to substitute it, or maybe one didn't really work out with the annotated or from the annotated for the essay, I understand that. However, all sources used in your research essay must be included in a works cited page. You don't have to rework the annotated bibliography. I list all the criteria here as far as the minimum word count, the works cited page, and the ML guidelines here that are pretty much standard when it comes to the research essay. The book talks about a couple of organizational patterns. So this is the goal on December 3rd. So let me see if I can get back to the first draft. All right. So here is the first draft guidelines, criteria. Basically the same type of MLA guidelines. I need to see that you have a works cited page. I'm looking for 6 sources to be quoted in text and also on the works cited page so I can verify your use of the source material is always important. I'm looking for double spacing, indented paragraphs, margins, page numbers. This one is stretched to around 2,000 words for the first draft, and that's the draft that I will review, offer feedback to you, okay, along with providing a grade, and then you will turn around and revise that for that final draft that is due on December 3rd. Also, this first draft is going to be the subject of the peer review activity that will be coming up. Just so that you're aware, the research essay first draft is a 2-part submission. There is an assignment where you will upload the first draft, and then also there is a discussion board here. Let me see if I can get there real quick. A discussion board here. Where is my discussion board here? Where's my peer review discussion board? There it is right there. Okay, this will be up and running for you to turn around and post your first draft along completing a peer review report, and then offering 3 items that you want your peer reviewers to address in their peer review. Also, I'll talk about this at length about using AI to help with peer review. I've been working with this in my COM 101 courses all this semester, so there'll be a separate video coming out addressing peer review as we move into next week. All right, so hopefully this particular lecture video will clear this up about what's happening and where we're going here. Discussion board 13, I've read some really good openings. Read the lead-ins. I think this is a valuable exercise for you to complete. It'll give you an introduction for your first draft. Already out of the way, you just move on to working and structuring your draft. One thing I want to point out that really might help some of you here is exercise 4.2. Think about some of the thesis-like questions that'll help you frame how you organize your particular research essay. And here are some of the writing strategies and tips, whether it's deciding whether to say I mean, I have no problem with the first person as long as it is limited and focused. Flashlights or floodlights is a very interesting section to read about pulling together the first draft. And then we have all the multiple leads for exercise 4.3. Now, I believe chapter 4 is a really worthwhile chapter for you to work through. I might have mentioned it in last week's lecture video. I'm coming back to it again. Excuse me. How is it we go from a writer's interest to a reader's interest? Working the common ground and putting people on the page, I think, is always an important section to read, along with a strong ending. I mean, a good conclusion. Don't recap everything. I've already read everything. Tell me something new, all right? In this section here about writing with sources and synthesizing sources is an important one, and we'll get into the using and citing sources sections in the next week or so, all right? So that's what I have for this week's lecture video. If you have any questions or issues, send me an email.